York, one of the largest cities in the world, has a lot to offer. From mesmerizing skyscrapers and monuments to the world-class museums, art, and restaurants, there is something for everyone in the Big Apple. Midtown Manhattan is home to some of the most famous tourist destinations not only in New York City but in the entire world. For this reason, in this video, I will be sharing with you 10 things you have to do when you are in this area. To get a good sense of the size and the density of New York, you need to see it from above. My recommendation is to do it at the beginning of your trip to get a proper sense of the city's enormous size, its layout, and where top attractions are located. Fortunately, there are a few options for observation decks, but my favorite is the observation deck of the Edge at the Hudson Yards.
We are now standing on the 100th floor. So if you look at it, you see like how tall this building is. And this is the highest sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. And I think they were a little bit unlucky because it was open just last year in March, just when pandemic started.
This last floor is 1,066 feet high. That's amazing.
Look at this brave lady. You are living dangerously. 100 floors above the ground. Look at those tiny cars.
This spot is one of the best spots in New York to watch the sunset.
By the way, while you are visiting the Edge, spend a few minutes and enjoy the beauty of another tourist attraction of Hudson Yards. This honeycomb-like structure is called the Cell. Unfortunately, when we visited it, it was closed to the public for safety reasons, but hopefully your luck will be better than ours. Close to the Hudson Yard, there is another iconic attraction of New York, the Highline. Highline is a train track that now has been turned into an urban walking park. By walking on this elevated park, which stretches for more than 2 kilometers, you can see views of different streets of New York as well as the Hudson River from above. While walking there, you are surrounded by plants and there are lots of artwork that you encounter along the way. There are two architectural masterpieces that you need to keep an eye on when you are walking on the Highline. One is the Zaha Hadid building and the other one is the Whitney Museum of American Art at the end of the Highline. There are so many museums in New York that you can spend weeks, if not months, exploring all of them. Even if you don't like museums or you are not an art lover, I suggest you give it a try and visit a couple of top museums in New York. My favorite museums in New York are MOMA, Met, and Guggenheim. MoMA is home to a renowned collection of modern and contemporary art. This museum is amazing. You can see the masterpiece of Monet, Van Gogh, Munch, Rousseau, Cézanne, you name it. It's absolutely incredible. The Guggenheim Museum is considered one of the 20th century's most important architectural designs. It's also one of my favorite buildings and museums in the city. Met is one of the largest museums in the world and it houses more than 2 million pieces of art. It is known as a home for some of famous paintings. Times Square is one of the must-see places in Manhattan. It is an area stretched from the 42nd to 47th Streets and from Broadway to 7th Avenue. It draws millions of visitors every month to wander in its neon-lit blocks. The brightness of giant digital displays and billboards is stunning at night. When you are at Times Square, you really understand why New York is called the city that never sleeps. Even if you walk in Times Square after midnight, the entire place is so bright that sometimes it feels like it's still day. Beyond the giant billboards and supersized crowds, Times Square is also a cultural hub. With more than 40 theaters hosting a variety of musicals and plays, Broadway shows are definitely one of the top things to do in Times Square, even if you are not a big fan of going to theaters. My favorite Broadway shows are Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, The Lion King, and Wicked. Fifth Avenue is home to some of the most iconic storefronts in the world, such as Tiffany, Bergdorf Goodman, and Saks Fifth Avenue. Definitely, it is a shopper's paradise. It's even a great destination for window shopping. I'm sure for all you fashionistas out there, you will love every moment of spending time at Fifth Avenue.
Here is the most popular filming location in United States. Welcome to Central Park.
Central Park is adjacent to Midtown Manhattan and is my favorite place in New York City. So I highly recommend that you spend at least a few hours there.
More than 500 movies have been filmed in this location. It is the most visited urban park in United States as it is a masterpiece of landscape architecture. It has significantly influenced the urban parks design in United States.
There are 10 more interesting spots that I wouldn't necessarily go so far to call them must-do things in Midtown Manhattan. But if you have time, they are worth visiting. Radio City Music Hall, Lego Store, especially if you have kids, Grand Central Terminal, one of the most famous film locations in the world, New York Public Library, specifically check out the Rose Reading Room, Chrysler Building, an Art Deco masterpiece, St. Patrick's Cathedral, the most incredible religious building in New York with stunning new Gothic facade, Bryant Park, known for its excellent ice skating rink during the winter, Carnegie Hall, probably the most famous concert hall in the world, United Nations headquarters, if you are interested in politics, Macy's flagship store, gigantic and original Macy's. So these are some of the main attractions in Midtown Manhattan. In my next video, I will talk about the attractions in Lower Manhattan. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment if you have any questions. See you in next video.